Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of RC Retirement. Today we're going to wrap up the interview with Matt Campanile, and then we can move on to other topics. Today's wrap up has some interesting comments from myself and from Misty, of course. I think you'll find it most invigorating when you hear some of the weird things that we have to say. Matt has some interesting questions, and of course Misty and I have some rather sometimes off the wall responses to those questions. So I think you're going to enjoy what you have to hear today. This is a shorter episode than the last two. I was actually surprised while going through this because I thought it was going to be about half an hour, and then it turned out not to be. There was a segment that I had copied and pasted for some reason into the last bit, and when I realized that and cut it out, there was a lot less. So you'll have about 20 minutes or so, and then it's all done. So a lot less than before, but still some very good material here. I think you'll like it. And so let's just move on and let you enjoy that, and I'll see you on the other side. I'll talk to you in a moment.
You know, I'm glad that you mentioned the VA, because through my experience with the VA, there's different umbrellas under the VA. You know, you have the umbrella for comp and pen, the VA umbrella for comp and pen. You have the umbrella for the medical treatment side of it. You have the umbrella for the mental illness side, or the mental health care side of it all. My going through the VA, I've learned that there's many umbrellas underneath the big VA umbrella, and that you have to navigate through. So that's definitely been an experience of mine with the VA here.
Monster.
So is every healthcare system, every major healthcare system. If they're too small to do a lot of things, or they're so big they might as well be 5 separate entities.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And they're not all
good
at everything.
Yeah, DJ, I think you guys have answered all my questions. I don't think there's really anything else more that I can ask. I think we touched a little bit on everything here.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm glad this worked out. It was a welcome surprise 2 days ago when you sent your email, and the timing, or rather the time of it, as far as only being 3 weeks, was the biggest surprise. Because that's the shortest time I've ever seen.
Nothing in government happens in 3 weeks.
Right. No.
It's like the world wasn't created in a day. So
yeah, when I first started doing these, I sent my first CRSC packet to Human Resources Command at Fort Knox, and no joke, I called to follow up on it, got an analyst up there, and they admitted that they put them in a queue and never looked at them for a minimum of 4 months.
Oh, wow.
And that it took a minimum of 8 months to get a decision.
Wow. And then I got mine in 3 weeks. How amazing.
So when I first started doing this, I was telling people expect 8 months or more to get a decision. And then people are coming back, hey, I got a decision in 6 weeks. Like, what?
Maybe you just need to spam their fax machine.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
or now, just email bomb them. Make sure they get it.
They get
I
it.
apologize if you received this email multiple times, as I kept getting a bounce message.
Right. And then forward copies of the bounce.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, but not sorry.
Yes.
But is there anything that Misty, you would like to say, or DJ would like to say, for the service members that are going to be applying for CRC, maybe to encourage them, to actually take that step? Because again, like I said earlier, it's scary. It's scary going through this, and the unknown, if being denied or if it's actually, getting an approval on the decision, and going through the process. Is there anything that you guys would like to say, for these service members out there that would like to do this?
The biggest thing I would have to say, sorry.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure David has a spreadsheet to show whether it's like, it's the sort of the thought, what do you have to lose? The worst they can do is say no. And he can figure out exactly if it's worth your while to try this. So there's, always no harm in reaching out to somebody who's willing to say, you know what, it's going to be like 25 cents difference a month if you do this, or you're already maxed out for other reasons. You don't need to spend the time.
Okay.
There have been a few people for whom I've said it might not be worth it, but that's rare. Usually I say apply anyway, and then make the decision, because something always happens to make things interesting. And yes, I have yes, I have a spreadsheet-based calculator that spits out all kinds of interesting information. That's just one of the many cool things I have. All right, what I would tell services.
All of the cool things he has are spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's late. I'm goofy.
Until I can make web-based or phone-based apps out of them, they're spreadsheets.
Hey, they work, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. Sadly, I haven't the skill base to make them into anything else yet. All right. So the advice I would give service members is don't be afraid to take the step and apply. If you don't think you can do it yourself, reach out to people who can. Obviously, we've got a track record of success. Even when we think we're about to stumble and fall,
no fault of our own, obviously.
Yeah, this was the only time I thought it was not going to work, and it did anyway. So I'm thankful for that. And even if you don't think that you have anything that is eligible, apply anyway, because laws change. They change constantly. And the last thing, of course, if you don't understand how it works, there are resources out there in simple English to help you understand it, called my YouTube channel. All right. Misty, do you have anything?
I think it goes to sort of that, even if you don't think you have anything, apply anyway, because it sometimes is worth getting that sort of second look that has a sense for what gets approved. Speaking to a little experience, and you start to get people who've actually read through what the VA considers to be service related, which is very fascinating. If you're a bureaucrat like I am. But you don't always realize the extent of the things you might qualify for.
Very true.
In fact, it's normally while someone is asking me about one thing, like retired pay eligibility, or something like that, that the conversation ends up expanding to something like CRSC. oh, look, it turns out based on the info you've given me, you could also qualify for this. Or I've got several people who have contracted me to help them become medically retired like you are. And once that is successful, the next thing on the list is to apply for CRSC, because obviously they'll meet the criteria. So more fun for them in the future. I have wondered why in the world you can't just have those two things merged into the same sort of evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess then I say facetiously, I'd be out of work.
You and Misty, yes.
Oh no,
Oh,
you've
no.
introduced efficiency.
Yes, you can't have that because then people will be out of a job. So.
Well, I would celebrate it and I'd find something else to do. So.
There you go, entrepreneur.
I have plenty of other branches of government I could go interact with that need some problems solved.
Yeah, Misty is the queen of fixing things messed up. I say in a much cleaner version than normal.
She cleans house.
Yeah.
Literally, in different ways.
Got a giant stick in the corner for beating people.
Hey, sometimes
All
it's
right.
needed, you know, just like that phone call we experienced earlier. I really don't know how you did it, because I think I'd have been very frustrated with that call, trying to explain that these are medical records from the VA. And it's just hard to believe that they've never seen records like that before. Because I'm sure I'm not the only one that's ever submitted records like that out of all the hundreds of thousands of people that have applied for CRSC.
The part I cut out was where she was very stern and saying, you know, this is unacceptable. And if you notice, later she's laughing and running through the packet saying, you know, this part looks good. This part I don't think will work. I think he's got a chance here, probably not over here. You know, listen to the recording I sent, but she seemed to be pretty amiable toward the end, and I don't know if that resulted in your success or not, but it certainly.
I'm going to say it did. I'm going to say
There's
it did.
a lesson of always be nice, too,
Right.
because you don't know who's going to have an impact.
Yeah, I don't get mad on the phone. I get mad afterward.
Right.
I'm always polite on the phone.
Well, and that's one thing I've learned about this process too, because the person on the other end, they may not be a doctor, they may not be an attorney that's reading these packets. You really don't know who that person is or what their qualifications are, or if they're just stuck in that seat because that's their job. And so again, what Misty and what you do is painting that story for that person that's sitting in that seat on the other side, you know, for these packets to go through, you know, really helps again. So, you know, now it's just a waiting game like everything else. So we'll just see what happens.
Well, the hard part's over. So now it's just money arrives.
Well, like I said, the beginning of my career, a little backstory here, because the beginning of my career, when I entered over there at Fort Sill, Oklahoma back in '98, they actually messed up my finances. I did not get paid for 2 months.
Oh.
So I had a nice check coming home from basic training and everything. And then coming out of the Army, I kid you not.
That stuff they make you pay for in basic training, you couldn't do? Haircut,
yeah, pretty much.
You know, and other
toiletries. Well, at the time they gave us a little card. I forget what they called it, like a freedom card or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's like a little credit card that is attached to your account. And they eventually went back and got that money for that stuff. But you know, that was a debt. That was a debt payment that was attached to my LES. But when I retired out of the Army, when they medically retired me, they actually messed up on my last name because the ILE, they put ITE.
Oh,
And so the only way I discovered that was because I was trying to log into the retirement systems and I couldn't log in. And I remembered I got my retirement certificate and I looked at it and it was ITE. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to try ITE. And it worked. And I don't know who I contacted or where I contacted or how it happened, the powers to be, but I contacted a lot of different people to get this corrected. And it got corrected. And they sent me a new certificate, retirement certificate. And then at that point, like I said, I don't put in, that's why I called HRC once I got that decision letter, and I called DFAST just to make sure everything was tracking because of said issues. So I don't put anything past the Army, the government. So
I
always double check and triple check
that. A day or two after we talked about it on my radio program, I spoke about that just offhand. I didn't say your name. I just mentioned the last 3 letters. I said, always double check your stuff because things happen. Some bureaucrat types the wrong thing, and then it spirals.
It
God
does.
forbid it was once handwritten. I mean, there was a whole, there's a very famous problem with doctors' handwriting and what they write versus what actually gets read when you go to fill the prescription. There's a reason we type everything now.
Yeah. Oh, they hate that too. My doctor, before I moved back down to Georgia, was one of the old school, write things out. And for the last 2 years that I saw him, he was carrying a laptop around and just, he's an old Navy doctor too. So and he knew I was Army, so he just let the language fly. He was cussing up a storm every time he's having to, bang
Type
out
something.
notes into the laptop.
No, but that has opened up the best job for for wannabe medical students ever, which is medical scribe. You just follow the doctor around and type up what they say.
Dictation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fancy version of dictation, except dictation is terrible. How those old systems, it's like everything that's wrong with voice to text comes up in dictation.
Right. But just imagine you get some crusty old doctor like this guy was. Just type what I say. Not that.
Yeah. Double check and triple check everything because if I didn't catch that, it would have really affected me on applying for CRSC. It could have gotten denied just for a simple spelling error.
Or you would have been out several months trying to fix that first.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
we've actually had stuff like that. We've got Board of Corrections cases where we're looking at prior decisions that were obviously denied simply because the guy couldn't write well. He didn't write his appeal to the board in a manner that clearly stated his case, and they denied it. Like, okay, I think I see what happened here. Let me know when you get paid. I'd be curious to know when that happens and what the number looks like.
Yeah, certainly, definitely, because again, there's so many numbers that are out there floating around. I'm going to go with the number you're throwing out there, and that's what I'm going to expect. And but again, everything's a
I
surprise.
lowballed it, so it's probably always expect low.
Yeah, and that's if it's 50 cents, you times that by 12 and times that, say, by the next 30 years I have to live, better than nothing. So
there we go.
All right. Again, well, you folks have a good night, and again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Okay, so as you saw, there was some good stuff there. I hope you all enjoyed that and will benefit from it. So Matt had some good questions. I think overall that Zoom interview was a good event, and that the people who see it will definitely be able to benefit from it and use the information that was put out there to be able to make their own informed decisions regarding combat-related special compensation. Of course, there are always additional resources on this YouTube channel for further education, and I recommend that people use those as well. And of course, I'm here, and now Misty is here, our newest addition. She's been here for about 7 months and has been a great help with people trying to get that benefit and a few other benefits that are out there. And I'm very grateful that she's here. I think she's going to be a wonderful addition to the medical side of the benefits and compensation. That sounds like a reverse of VA. Well, anyway, I think she's going to be a great help overall. All right, so that is it for today's episode. Please join me next time when we pick up with another interview. I've got another great one already recorded. I just need to do a little more editing and it will be ready for you. For those of you who would like to support my work, both with the educational drive that I've been doing for a couple of years now, and with the other efforts that I've got ongoing, please remember that you can go to patreon.com/rcretirement and support me at any level that is pre-established there, or you can create one of your own. You can also support me at no additional cost to yourself by going through one of the affiliate links on rcretirement.com and doing your Amazon shopping. That will enable you to do the shopping you would already do, and RC Retirement will get a small commission, and my thanks for doing that. Alright, so as always, I do thank you for spending your time with me and for being a part of this audience. Until next time, thank you for being here, and thank you for your service. Have a great day.
If you liked what you heard on today's episode, then please go below and give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to this channel. Also, please let other people know about this channel and the information it can provide for them. If you have questions or comments, then please have no qualms about posting them in the comments section below. Please remember the RC Retirement YouTube channel and the RC Retirement website are not recognized or endorsed by the Department of Defense, the Department of Veterans Affairs, or any other government agency. The information presented in these resources are for entertainment and informational purposes only. Also, the content of either of these resources should not be considered financial or legal advice. Please consult with your own legal counsel, accountant, or financial planner before making any decisions based on what you have learned here. As always, thank you for watching the RC Retirement YouTube channel.